Okay, I'm going to go over the notes that you can add to your notebook from the video that we just watched. So you might have maybe wrote down something a little bit different than mine. That's fine. So if you wanted to add to yours, or if you just want to write down what I have, that's fine too. So I just watched the video. And if you were in class, we would have watched it one time all the way through, and then we would have watched it again and paused at different points to write down notes. But we're not in class, so just watch the video. You might want to watch it 2 times just so you can really understand it. And then these are the notes that you can add to your notebook. So for I put today's date, just like you should. And on the other side, we didn't skip pages. I'm going to show you this too. Don't skip pages. So the other side of this page is my vocabulary from yesterday. So just turn the page on the back side, put today's date, and put a title. And I like to use highlighters and different colored pens and pencils and stuff like that. So if you guys want to do that, you can. If you don't want to, that's okay. It just, I don't know, I guess I'm colorful. So our title for today is Gravity, Inertia, and Friction, because that's what that video was on. All right, so the first one that I wrote down is if you want motion, you need force. And I drew a picture of the soccer ball on the grass, and I have a big arrow, and it's saying force, because that's the force of your kick on a ball that's sitting still. So if you want this ball to move, you're going to have to apply some kind of force to it. So your kick is the force that gets it to move. Now, if we didn't have any other forces acting on this ball and you kicked it, it would go flying out into outer space because inertia. Now, the technical definition of inertia is the tendency of an object to resist change in its state of motion. But let's kind of break that down a little bit so you understand it a little bit better. So an object will keep moving forever unless another force acts on it. So if you kick this soccer ball right here, I drew it again. If you kick this soccer ball, so that's the force that you're applying to it. If it had no other forces acting on it, it would just fly out into outer space and it would go on and on and on and on and on forever. But there's actually 2 other forces acting on it. I didn't write the second one down. The first one, or one of them, is grass. So the grass and the ground is acting on it, and it's friction. Friction acts between 2 surfaces that touch. Another one, and if I drew my arrow going this way, what other force do you think is acting on this ball? Gravity is acting on this ball. So gravity also slows it down because it keeps it down to the earth. So we have the force of your kick, we have the force of the friction of the grass acting on the ball, and we also have gravity acting on the ball. So there's actually 3 forces acting on a soccer ball when you guys are playing soccer. All right, so then greater the mass, the greater amount of force that is needed to move or stop the object. So the more mass an object has, the greater amount of force needed to stop it or to move it. So let's think about this. So let's think if I came and pushed you, you would move, right? Some of you might even fall on the floor depending on how hard I pushed you. But now if I went to my car outside and I pushed my car, how far do you think it would move? Probably not very far, because my car has greater amount of mass than you do. So it would take a greater amount of force for me to push my car than it would take me to push you. So down here I have more force equals more movement. Now if I got 10 people to help me push my car, I'd be able to move it because I had greater force. So greater force or more force equals more movement. All right, so you can go ahead and pause this video if you'd like so that you can write this down for your notes. Once you have this written down for your notes, then go on and move on to the next video.